There we go. Hello, welcome to what is going to be a very quick stream because for some reason my recordings from StreamYard aren't uploading to YouTube at the moment, so we'll try and fix that. The only way that I can deal with it is doing a live stream when I would have recorded. So, quick update for you Leeds United fans and potentially Sunderland fans if you fancied hopping along. Habib Diarra is going to Sunderland. This has been borderline confirmed. It's been given the whole here we go shenanigans from Fabrizio Romano. I'll give you a few of the details, what it means for Leeds United, what it means for Sunderland, what sort of player he is, all that kind of stuff going forwards. If you haven't yet, get tickets for the Leeds Creator Cup as well, down below. £7 adults, £3 kids. It should be a wonderful time. And also subscribe, because if you do, then that'll be fantastic and it'll help charity. So 1p per subscriber is going to charity, so it's going to be fine. Anyway, Diara to Sunderland. It is coming to a €35.5 million package, which is, I will just very quickly check, euro to pounds, around 30 million quid, which is a hell of a lot of money. This is a little bit spooky for presumably Sunderland fans, because that is a big wad of cash. A medical has been booked, which means that it's basically on the horizon unless he has some severe issues, and it comes after some very late interest. Leeds have had recorded interest in him for the better part of 2-3 weeks at this stage, and Sunderland have only just come in the past few days, which means that there's a bit of a weird situation going on there. That means that they've sort of swooped in, very quickly said, okay, you want to come to the Premier League? We'll chuck some cash at your club. Cool, let's make the move happen. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Leeds United miss out. In terms of the player they're missing out on, it's a dynamic midfielder who can do the attacking side, is reasonably good at the defensive side. Basically, an effective number 8, which is fun, I suppose, but it reveals a couple of potential negatives in Leeds United's transfer strategy. The assumption for me at the moment is that Habib Diarra was at the very top of the list, and assuming that he was, this means that Leeds are missing out on a target. To cover this off, Russ, this is because I was recording a video now anyway, and for some reason my recordings aren't working on StreamYard at the moment, and the only way that I can get this out is by streaming. In fact, I'm partway through watching Squid Game Season 3 at the moment, and it's heartbreaking. But let's keep it rolling. I'm doing this as effectively a video rather than a live stream, so I won't check the chat very much. My apologies. Yeah, the negatives include the fact that it's shown that Leeds can be sort of jumped in on at the moment, because what it looks like we're doing at the minute is having a sort of slow, strategic, gradual transfer strategy, which for the most part makes a lot of sense. For the most part is we're making sure that we're doing the right things at the right time, but it means that players that are at the top of our list, we give other clubs the opportunity to jump in on, which means that when it comes to the season, we're not necessarily running with a squad that's the one that we wanted at the start of the transfer window, which could leave us a little bit weaker and could leave us vulnerable throughout the season. That's one of the bad things. Another of the bad things is it sort of shows a prospective weakness to the fans, because I promise you, this is a guarantee right now, that fan response to this will be, how did we let Sunderland do this? Or we're a bigger club than Sunderland, why doesn't he want to come here? Or we should have just paid up the money. Which affects morale throughout the club. And this is an undeniable thing. Morale in the club will be hit by this, because players get their energy from the fans. You can tell that by how in home matches, clubs win more often than in away matches, and how a bouncing crowd is always going to get your back up a little bit more than a silent dead one. So losing a fan base relatively early in the transfer window isn't a good thing. I'm not saying that it will completely lose the fan base for the entire transfer window, but it's not going to set the morale in the right direction. However, before people panic, before people get spooked, I would like to make a couple of little suggestions and ask you the question, is it a good thing? Because I think there's a few positives to be gained out of this as well. First off, whilst, yeah, he will have been the top of our list of targets, he's not going to be the only one. It's a list of targets at the end of the day. There'll be a lot of different midfielders with similar profiles that we are looking at. If Lockie and Andrea, who, with the best will in the world, they are football geniuses, but they don't have the resources of a football club. If they're able to find multiple players for multiple positions and sort of run through them like, this is where they're good, this is where they're bad, this is why we should sign them, there will be more than one target in this position. It's fine. We've missed out on a target. This doesn't mean we're not going to do anything, as much as a lot of people might get spooked about that. Second up, I think there's a firm positive to this one, in that it's shown us that we are not willing to get bullied. And to explain this one, we went in with an initial bid, which is fine. That's good. That's how transfer negotiations work. And it was pushed back on, and that's fine because Strasbourg had an idea in their head of how much they wanted in terms of money. And we will have continued that conversation and gone, okay, how can we balance it? How can we make sure that we're able to make a deal here? How do we make sure that we get our man? And then Sunderland swing in and blow our bid out of the water. Now, to me, this says that we have a firm idea of what we want, a firm idea of what we need, and a firm idea of how much we're willing to spend for each position and for each player. There's no need spending, in this case, £30 million on who we deem to be a £25 million player, because all you're losing is £5 million that you can spend on another position, which leaves you a little bit weaker in that position. So whilst missing out here might make us weaker in the central midfield roles, I'll be honest, that's not the position that I'm most worried about as a Leeds fan at the minute. If I'm a Leeds fan right now, I'm like, well, we've got Tanaka, who's quite good, and we've got Ampadu, who's quite good, and we've got Gruev, who's quite good. Sure, we could use someone a little bit more progressive in there, but there's a lot of those players. The places that we need to focus are centre forward. So if we're having another £5 million to put somewhere, make it the number 9 or make it the number 10. I don't mind us being in a position where we're not willing to be bullied on price, especially when it's primarily because clubs will be looking at us like, well, you're a Premier League club, you've got Premier League money, spend it. We could, or we could balance our money a little bit better. And that's the option that I think that we've gone for. And that, I think, is the correct option to be going for. It's the safe alternative, it's the happy alternative, it's the good alternative. And whilst we might have folks like Andy in the chat, yes, I'm going to occasionally refer to the chat, even though this is effectively just a live stream, saying he can't believe he signed for Sunderland. For me, the fact that we've not sort of rolled over and said, yeah, we'll pay you all the money in the world to sign him, but he's not worth that much money to us, is a positive. Yes, I would have liked Habib Diarra. Yes, it's a shame we've not signed him. No, it's not a shame that we've not spent that much money on him. I'd rather he not have gone to Sunderland. I'd prefer him to have gone to a side that was either already out of our reach or a side in a different country, so we didn't have to potentially deal with him, because imagine if he scores against us at Elland Road or something like that. But ultimately, I think we will have made the right decision here, because we've not fallen into the throw money at a player that you have an interest in trap, because it's a bad trap to fall into. But at the end of the day, as always, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Sorry for the people on the live stream that this was a quick one. This is literally just to get a video recorded, because my pre-records aren't working at the minute. If you enjoyed, please pop a like on it. Subscribe if you're not yet. Every subscriber is another 1p to Prostate Cancer UK by full time at the charity match, which you can get your tickets for down below. £7 for adults, £3 for kids. John Shell sent the spot on the 20th of July. It'll be a fantastic day. You can become a channel member as well. It's £2.99 a month, and you get videos early, although not this time because I've had to live stream it. It's a weird one. Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you later. Assuming the live stream lets me. Just to cover this one, I'm assuming Sunderland just went right in at the asking price, and we will have valued him a little bit less. But yeah. Anyway, with that, I will see you later. Toodaloo.